Hey guys, so a lot is going on out here. Welcome into Tommy Bites Homestead. You see what's on the title of this and you see what's on the screen. The US, we are about to go to war. And you say with who? At this point, this is insane. So the US just seized a Russian oil tanker. I have videos to show you about this, and Russia is threatening the US right now. And now we know Russia threatens the US all the time, but y'all, we have really done it. I don't know what's going on with all of this stuff and the reasoning for all of these seizures that's happening, but hey, we're in the middle of it. So Russia must torpedo American ships and even could use nukes to respond to tanker seizure, Putin stooge has threatened. Tensions between Moscow and Washington are increasingly dramatically over flagrant U.S. tanker seizures. We know that they just did that to Venezuela, and also a Venezuelan ship was headed to Russia really fast to try to prevent this from happening, but apparently that did not take place. So let me pause this for a second. One of Moscow's top brass has sensationally threatened nuclear action following the U.S. seizure of Russian oil tankers. The war of words between the two superpowers is escalating after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth appears to shrug off accusations of outright piracy. That's what it is. That is what it is. And so right here, he's threatening nuclear action against U.S. forces. Russian nukes rolled through Moscow's Red Square during the Victory Day military parade. Hold on. At the bottom. This is U.S. forces right here. I will show you videos. This is the tanker that was trying to, get to Russia, and they were intercepted. And this was right after they took in Mandura the other day. That tanker was trying to get away. So U.S. forces board Shadow Fleet tanker after 2-week chase. You can see the routes here. The first deputy head of the Russian State Duma's Defense Committee fumed at the seizure and claimed the U.S. were buoyed by their successful capture of Venezuelan tyrant Nicolas Maduro. He said, we need to provide a military response. So they want to respond to this. Attack with torpedoes or sink a couple of American boats. So, guys, things have really heated up. The seizure of a civilian vessel by the armed U.S. Navy is nothing short of piracy, is what he's saying. It is essentially the same as an attack on Russian territory, since the tanker was flying our national flag. There will be wars and rumors of wars, you guys. When I'm constantly saying so many signs from the Bible are happening right now. I had a video up of the doomsday fish that washed ashore in California. This happens so often right after a earthquake or right before a earthquake. They are fish that honestly don't look like a normal fish. They are super long, like long as a surfboard or longer than a surfboard. And they live at the depths right at the bottom of the ocean. So when an earthquake happens, this typically, when it's about to happen, they typically get, it's just, everything is going on. The Euphrates River is drying up. I mean, so many things. Again, I'm going to put that video up on Faith Over Fear. So if you're interested in that, go check that out over on my other channel. So they said there is no doubt that we must respond firmly and swiftly. Our military doctrine even says the use of nuclear weapons in response to such of an attack. So they are considering this a attack on their country because their flag was flying on that vessel. So Kremlin officials were left infuriated after American troops today boarded the rusting Marinera, something like that, a Mariner tanker, following a daring 2-week chase across the Atlantic. The Shadow Fleet tanker is now in the custody of Washington in a fresh humiliation for Vladimir Putin. Y'all know he's not going to take that lightly, just like our president wouldn't take it lightly if somebody did the same to him. We are setting ourselves up for war. We are setting ourselves up for war. If you are not preparing with your rations and with the things that you would need, you should be. And although we do prepare because we know we should, we also need to know that we need to be preparing spiritually as well, for the Father will provide. The Shadow Fleet tanker is now in the custody of Washington in a fresh humiliation for Vladimir Putin. Senior Russian lawmaker reacted indignantly, rebranding the gobsmacking capture in act of outright piracy. So let's go over to TikTok and check out some of these. Well, I had part of the video right here in there. I should have shown you that. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Okay, let's go back over here. All right, so I need to mute it. Russia scrambled the submarine and naval vessels to try and guard the tanker as it attempted to get away. Trump's crack naval team started the mission to take over the vessel, where they will complete it. Images show U.S.-linked helicopters approaching the ship before it reportedly landed. SEAL Team 6 that took out Osama bin Laden did this. The aging ship, which Russia claims has nothing on board, has been seized. It came after several U.S. jets departed from the UK today to hunt for the vessel and track the Russian sub, formerly called the Bella 1, but now rebranded as the Marinera. What do we call it? These sanctions evading vessels help circumvent embargoes, allowing access and evil. Okay, so now we can go over to TikTok and check that out. This is absolutely insane that we are on the verge of war with so many different countries at this point. Okay, here we go.
Seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker. Breaking news, the US has seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker near Iceland after a 2-week pursuit across the Atlantic. Russia reportedly sent ships and a submarine to escort the Venezuela-linked tanker, which has since been renamed and flagged under Russian ownership. The US have claimed the seizure was a result of a US federal court warrant in a major escalation of America's presence in the region.
Breaking news off the coast of Venezuela. The U.S. has started an operation to seize an oil tanker there. That's according to 2 U.S. officials. And one of those officials tells us the ship has been secured.
At this point, the U.S. still sees it as a stateless vessel. As of this morning, they still do not acknowledge that it is a Russian-flagged vessel. But you'll remember this all started over the holidays more than a week ago, when then the Bella 1 left Venezuela. The U.S. was enforcing this embargo or stopping or blocking ships that were leaving Venezuela that had any kind of sanctions or carrying oil. And they were seizing and interdicting these ships, primarily with the Coast Guard, usually with support of the United States military. But the Bella One evaded that. They brushed off the efforts for the U.S. to board that ship and then started making their way towards Europe. Since then, the U.S. has essentially been in pursuit of that tanker.
Breaking news off the coast of...
There are confirmed reports that the U.S. Coast Guard, under direct orders from the Trump administration, has successfully boarded and seized the Marinera, a recently Russian-flagged oil tank.
I guess I had it right, but I was thinking I had it wrong because I was thinking about the sauce. But anyway, all of this is leading to China is paying attention, because if we can go in and take out Mandura, which he needed to be taken out, but if we can go and take Mandura out and then place ourselves in as being in charge of running the country, China's looking at Taiwan right now, which is the biggest chip maker out here. They're going, so why are we waiting? We just do the same thing they did. This is where the war part comes in, because NATO, US have said they will step in if China does this to Taiwan. Yet we do the same thing to other countries.
Navy SEALs carried in by Special Operations helicopters took over the oil tanker known as the Bella One in a daring at-sea mission off the coast of Iceland. Hours later, commandos took over another tanker, fast roping onto the deck and moving up to the bridge to seize control. That ship, known as the Sophia, was in the Atlantic, headed east from Venezuela. Both tankers sanctioned for smuggling Venezuelan oil. The U.S. has now seized 4 tankers as part of its oil blockade.
2 oil tankers, 2 overnight, were seized by the United States of America, stateless or sanctioned, because the oil blockade, the quarantine of oil out of unsanctioned or sanctioned or stateless vessels continues.
The Bella One had been re-registered as a Russian vessel, and the Kremlin dispatched a submarine to escort it. But U.S.
I just noticed there's a lot of celebrities running office right now. Trump was a celebrity, still is. This guy, Pete, he's a celebrity, like before getting into politics. So it's a lot of the best right now.
U.S. forces arrived first. Russia called the seizure illegal under international law.
We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio told lawmakers that seizing Venezuelan oil, both at sea and on land, will help.
We're going to take your oil, give you the middle finger, and we're going to sell your oil. How you like them apples? Well, sadly, America may find out really soon. And we're not going to know where this hit's coming from at first. But nations are going to fall. And I feel like this is going to be one that falls hard. I hope that it's not, but I feel that it is. I feel that prophecy is happening. Everything in Revelation is coming to light. And we're all going to pay for it. And so this is why we all need to get ourselves in order with God. We need to repent. We need to pray. We need to do all the things that prepares us for the rapture. And I know some people probably don't want to hear what I'm saying, but I can't see all of this stuff that's happening and see the signs of things that's happening and not say anything at all. I have to say something. So you can't say, well, no one told me that these things were all happening and that these things are all linked and that these things will be the end of time.
stabilize the country.
That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime.
That oil, worth between $2 and $3 billion, would be taken by tankers and brought to port in the United States. Democrats called the White House plan theft.
This is an insane plan. They are talking about stealing the Venezuelan oil at gunpoint for a period of time undefined.
And we have new CBS polling tonight that shows nearly 6 in 10 Americans think the administration's goals in Venezuela are a lot about oil. And when it comes to last weekend's operation to remove Maduro, just over half disapprove.
And here's the thing. The Venezuelans are very happy to have Maduro out. He needed to be out. This man was evil as evil can be. Like, some people like to think that our leaders are evil. This man took it to a whole nother level at the stuff that he was doing. And he needed to go. But two things can be true. What Trump administration did help Venezuelan people, but there was an ulterior motive. We're not just going to go in and help you without getting something from this. This is just how the world is. Most people, notice I said most, are helping other groups of people, not for the benefit of the people, although they will benefit, but to benefit them, to benefit their families, to enrich themselves. That money that they're going to get, and they say they're going to distribute it how? Where is it going? Who is it helping? Are you going to track this money? Is anybody going to track this money and what they do with after they sell this oil? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you listening to me jaw jack. I hope you don't mind me throwing in, and not just throwing in, me making very clear what I see going on when it comes to the world and how it relates to the Bible, even though I have a whole nother channel for that. I'm doing news here, and the news is in the book, okay? The news is in the book. I got Bibles all around my house. I walk around this house. I'm praying evil spirits out. I'm praying evil spirits out of me, evil thoughts out of me, because you see things and you don't want that to consume you. So you have to pray that out, because you're bringing negative energy in. I'm not using no sage. I'm not using no crystals. I'm using the Holy Bible. Y'all keep the faith, pray, plan, and definitely prep. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Please give this video a like, because that is the best way that you can support the channel. This is my only way of supporting my family right this minute. And even though my husband has gone back to work somewhat, and he just hurt himself today, so who knows where that's going to go. Hitting the like is the best way to support me. I do have Cash App. I do have all of that. And anybody who has sent Cash App, thank you so very much for doing that. I appreciate it. Anybody who has sent a super chat, which I haven't got one of those in a while, which is fine with me. That's why I say that I don't ask you for money. I ask you for likes, because that helps me over here on this channel. Okay. Y'all take care. I love you, but God truly loves you more. He created only one you. So go out and be the best you that you can be, because I'm going to try to be the best me that I can be. And that's all I can do. Okay. Because God only created one me. And I'm going to do the best I can to be pleasing to my Father. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.